Our first guest tonight is an Emmy-winning actor you know from shows such as The Office, The Practice, and Boston Legal. He's currently starring in NBC's The Blacklist, which returns this Friday. Let's take a look.
You think this was a mistake?
You ask a tactical question. I see only an ethical one. No. It was not a mistake, but it was wrong.
Because of Elizabeth.
You've pushed her too far.
I wonder.
Please welcome back to the show and the studio, our friend James Spader. Welcome back. These are the protocols.
How are you, Seth?
I'm good, James.
Good.
Thank you so much for making the trip.
Is there still a cup of water anywhere?
Yeah, I think we got one over there. Hopefully. Did you find it? Just wander around. Here, I have a bottle of water. You want that? There you go. Well, we're off to a pretty normal start.
Cheers.
Go take a seat. So, James, I feel like this might be a little weird to be doing this without an audience, but then you strike me as someone who would be exactly the same whether there was an audience or not.
I was really much more concerned about the cup of water than I was.
Nobody,
lack
I don't
of
think anybody
audience.
will even notice that you were concerned about the water.
Sure they won't. No, it probably isn't as strange for me as it is for the audience that isn't here and has no place to go. I mean, that's
Right.
the difficulty, I think. That's the weird part.
Yes.
Is that they don't have a place to go.
Yeah, nobody is able to watch anything live right now. I know you're a lover of live music. Is
I
that
am.
something you look forward to doing when this is over?
Very much so. But also, you know, I had a real, it was quite a revelation when I came back to the city. I had gone north to Massachusetts on March 12th. I wasn't working on the Friday, March 13th. We were filming in Brooklyn on the 12th. And in the afternoon, I called up Leslie and I said, you know, we should run up to Massachusetts because we need to measure those rugs for the apartment in the storage unit. And, you know, I've got a few days now. I don't know when else we're going to be able to do it. And she said, yeah, great idea. I'll, come home and I'll have the car packed, ready to go.
So you weren't leaving out of fear, because I left the same day and it was more out of fear. You left for rug-based
I
reasons.
left for the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was actually wearing a watch of mine. I'm a watch person. My glasses and my watch come off at the last thing at the end of the night, and they're the first thing that go on, after showering. And my watch, I'm still sticking with the sort of, mechanical watches. And so they tell absolutely horrific time. But, or this one was running like 10 minutes fast or slow or whatever the hell it was, and had been for a week. And so, and I was just accounting for it every time. I didn't even bother to change it. I just kept, I wanted to see how bad it would get.
Sure.
So I was so frustrated with it, I said, screw it, and I'll just take it. And I shoved it in my bedside table. And I said, I'll be fine. The weekend, I'll look at my phone like, my elder sons do,
Yeah.
And we drove up, got up there 12:30 at night.
Probably 12:40 or 12:20. I mean, the one thing we know right now is it wasn't 12:30.
Thank you, glass unicorn. Anyway, so the next day, the hit the fan. Everything started closing. We shut down. Everything was shutting down. And the renovation that the rug measurements were for was shut down. But all that aside, and the joking sort of dissipated very quickly. And it was a revelation. I certainly had, so we were up there until October. And so I had inklings of how things were in the city. I was seeing a lot of footage and talking to friends. But when I came back in, I don't know, end of September, or beginning of October, something like that, it was so upsetting to see the city had been crippled in a way.
Do you feel better about it now? Do you have more optimism?
I feel better it's why I'm coming in to do the show in studio, and why, besides the fact I don't know how the hell to work the stuff that when I
Yeah,
was
we
to
had
work.
very low confidence that you'd figure it out. We said, can he Zoom? I'm like, he still wears a watch.
But she clearly doesn't wind. Anyway, yeah, I mean, but this is all coming back from the audience being here or not, or me going to live music. I want to try and, I regret the fact that I was very happy in Massachusetts. It was safe. It was a place to be able to walk outside and go for a walk and so on, and that was wonderful. But I felt badly that the city that I love so much and have loved ever since I became an adult, it's been my home, and even when I have had time away, it has always felt like my home to me. It's the first place I chose to go when I left my parents' home. And it went through such a terrible, once in a century crisis in the summer, and we got to, try and pull it together here. And it's one of the important reasons for trying to get our show back up and running and try and get those people at work. And
I'm glad it's back up and running, and I want to talk about some of the interesting choices your show made to confront the inability to film. We're going to be right back with more from James Spader.